फिर से पैसा बोलता है मैं आपका स्वागत है मैं आनंद श्रीनिवासन. Today I'm going to talk about what habits that keep you poor. You must be wondering why I'm talking in English today instead of Hindi. This is because I normally do hot takes on Saturdays and Sundays, but unfortunately today Vinod is not here. Vinod is in Kodaikanal with his friends. He went to Kodai International School, so he is on his 25th reunion with his classmates, and so he won't be available for this week. We tried our best to get him online and tried to set up a StreamYard link. Unfortunately, Kodaikanal does not have great internet facilities and we are unable to get him online. And so let him enjoy his holidays. So since I normally talk on the weekend in English, I thought I'll give you an idea of habits which keep you poor and what you need to change for you to become wealthy. And today and tomorrow will be days when I will be speaking on my own without Vinod. I might bore you, but you just put up with this. So, what are the major financial habits that keep people very poor? First and foremost, nobody prepares a budget. When I interview people, most of the time I get answer is they spend the money that they do not have. How do you spend money that you do not have? You use credit cards. Banks are very generous in giving credit cards. If your salary is 30,000 and you are employed in a major corporate, you will be very unlucky if you do not raise 3 lakhs in credit cards. So 10 times of your salary you can spend. You have to understand, anytime you spend money, it's a part of the labor that you are going to put for that month you are spending. So people rack up debts which they can never service in their lifetime. So I met people who work all month and get salary, and by the 5th of the month they will have no money in their hands. That is a very poor habit. So if you know how much money you are going to get and live within that, that is the first step. So first step in getting rich. The rich do not spend money. The rich budget. They know how much money they get and they learn to live well within their means. The first 20% of your salary should go into savings as an EMI. But unfortunately, in today's India, where consumerism is running its roost, people tend to borrow to spend. That is, if I cannot afford an air conditioner, I'll buy an air conditioner on debt and pay 2,000 rupees a month. Instead, they do not think that they should save 2,000 rupees a month, wait for 10 months and then think of buying an air conditioner. So there is a need to gratify yourself instantly instead of delaying gratification. As the Stanford experiments have shown, people who tend to delay gratification tend to do better in life. But today, society and peer pressure around you make sure you go for an instant gratification. People who have no business owning an iPhone and cannot afford one tend to buy phones of very expensive nature on credit. So if you budget, you will know exactly how much money you have left out and what you can afford and what you cannot afford. You should know that you should live well within your means. And if you live beyond your means, you will be in trouble. As the great Warren Buffett has taught us, if you buy things that you do not need today, soon you will be selling things that you need. This is what is very important. So if you tend to live beyond your means, you will accumulate debt. And if you accumulate debt beyond what you can service, you tend to sink. And without you realizing, soon more than a decade or two of your life will vanish. You should understand that we have limited time in planet Earth, which is about 80 years. The useful working span of an average adult is only up to age 55 to 60. And another 20 years he has to live on this planet. Therefore, you have to set aside a major portion of your earnings for a better tomorrow. But people do not do this. They land into excessive debt and get into severe problems. And this is what causes a huge problem because this is debt beyond your ability and you cannot service it. And soon you will have to sell an asset of two to be able to service that debt. Once you have made sure that you live well within your means, you budget and you don't begin to get into debt, the next important step is learning how to invest. Keeping money in your bank account is not investing because banks in savings bank or gives you a very low rate of return. This is why if you are following bank results, they will give you a metric called CASA, that is current account savings account. These deposits are supposed to be very low. In a current account, you get zero interest, and in a savings account, you get 3 or 4% interest in a normal bank. In such cases, you are sure to lose money because inflation is far greater than the interest provided in the savings account, and current account, of course, gives you 0% return. In most cases, even large banks, even your fixed deposit rates cannot beat interests. What happens is 10% of your interest is deducted as tax at source because the government believes that you are not paying tax. And therefore, if your tax is so deducted at source, that money does not work for you and the money will come to you only after 18 months. Therefore, fixed deposits are not great investments. The house you live in is an immortal investment. Even when wealth is calculated, the house you live is not calculated as wealth. Therefore, and investing does not mean paying house EMIs. Most people consider paying a house EMI as an investment, and that is not true. So, in India, what you need to do first is to buy a minimum amount of gold because gold is treated as currency and always appreciates in value. I'm normally in my shows have a habit of showing a bill that was bought of a necklace bought by my father in 1973 when I was less than 6 years old, around 5.5, for 27 rupees a gram. 53 years down the line, the same gold what cost him 554 rupees that day costs well in north of 1 lakh today. It shows that rupee depreciates in value, and for your investments to pay off, you should be able to compound money or grow money at a rate at least 1.5 to 2% more than what inflation goes up. For you to do this, you need to have proper education and you continue to learn well after you leave college. But the most of us today in this world will never pick up a book to study the day you leave college. That is a sad part. You need to upskill yourself and continuously work on your education so that you are constant and your value remains same. And when you leave and move to the job to another company, you can demand top dollar. It is very important to focus on education and upskilling yourself at all times. So let us do once again what all we have talked about. You should budget, live within your means, not yield to temptations of immediate gratification. Do not take debt small or big. If you take debt, sooner rather than later, you will sell things that you desperately need to make ends meet. Therefore, stay safe. Avoid these habits which I have discussed today for you to become a better investor. Thank you. आपने इस पॉडकास्ट को सुना, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभारी हूँ. हो सके तो इस वीडियो को आप अपने दोस्त और रिश्तेदार के पास भेजें. अगर ये वीडियो आपको पसंद आया, इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, बेल नोटिफिकेशन दबाएं. नमस्कार, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद.